And hello again, and welcome to part 3 of my series of building a new seat for my Guzzi Cafe Racer here. And we left part 2 whereby I couldn't fit the new shocks I wanted to because they don't fit on the Guzzi mounts. And so, as you can see, I've marked off a new line where I can cut this lower seat edge, and by going back about 30mm I should gain 20mm extra clearance above the tyre, which I think is the minimum I need. Okay, so next up then is to cut back the rear of my alloy seat for the Guzzi. And I've marked off, hopefully, that line there. I've done my best to get it all nice and symmetrical, but it's probably not, but it's not far off. So we'll just cut it now with the old tin snips, and
we're going up to just
that blue line there, and then we can finish off with a file, hand file, and wet and dry. This is where I need help, because you really need 2 hands for this, or 4 hands rather, to hold it steady.
If we can come,
yep,
and we'll get in about there.
Let's just do that. You can see what's going on. Yeah. Now you can't do it only one go. We've just got to do it bit by bit, don't we? It's like,
oh, you can see there.
Yeah, you got
just
slight
bent down. With,
it's okay.
It's okay there, but what we need to do is as we get closer and closer,
be a bit more cautious. Yeah.
We've just got to.
Yeah. Yeah. So just using these. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, the problem using these snips is it can bend the metal. It's not a problem, it's flat, because you can just hammer it flat, but you can't really hammer this curve flat, so we've got to go a little bit cautious.
It's just...
Yeah, it's okay, we'll file it back a wee bit. This is why I wanted to stop.
You can actually feel it's rippling underneath. It's very difficult to cut
it. Okay, we'll get closer and then we'll file it back by hand. Okay, so we finished using the tin snips. We've got close to that edge there.
There's still a fraction to go.
There's all the cuts there.
But it just gives us enough to...
all the offcuts.
File it and
yeah, so next, get a hand file and file it down closer to this blue line. And that's what's next.
The wind machine is just fired up.
Oh, yeah. So this might take a while, so come back when we're finished. Okay, so we're getting close now. We've filed it back. Still not quite perfect yet, but we're getting quite close. So now we're going to finish off with some 60 grade wet and dry. So off you go. I'll hold it and you
just to get the
do the hard work. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to finish off now with some 120. Try and get a decent finish. And I'll take it home and we'll try it out on the bike. And now here we are, back home again. And there's a seat back on the bike. And the question is, have I now got enough clearance between the seat and the rear tyre? And no, it's getting a bit dark now, so it's difficult to see. I would say yes, I probably have. I've got about 85 to 90mm clearance there, which I think should be enough. Although I still intend to fit longer shocks. And those shocks, along with the raised seat, should give me plenty of clearance between the seat and the tyre. Because don't forget, I've still got to find room for the rear light and the rear plate. And then the last job on this seat unit is to sort out the rear mount on the bike. So we've made this new bracket here. I had to drill some more holes because we moved the front forward and so the holes didn't line up anymore. But we've now re-drill them. And the trick is we've got to secure the bolts that will go through here, and so they can't move when it's all upholstered and whatever. So the first thing we're going to do is we drill these 6.8mm holes, and then we're going to tap them out to 8mm.
So you put the thread in and it doesn't get the bolt won't sit flat.
No.
This is a little bit of give on the thread. There we go.
Okay, so that's only 2mm, so that's not going to be enough to hold it in place. But we'll add some JB weld hopefully, and the whole thing will be rock solid.
Once you've got something in there and it's locked, we should
be good. Okay. Okay, so here's the JB weld, and all you've got to do apparently is mix together an equal amount of this and this, make sure it's all nicely mixed, and then use it, whack it on the old bolts. So here we go then.
That's it.
Quickly mix it all together. I guess one's the hardener and one's the...
Yeah, how long does it say it takes to go off?
About 4 to 6 hours.
I
think you can get some that takes a long time and some that takes just a few minutes. So I guess this is the longer drying one.
The epoxy resin.
Yeah. Make sure it's all nicely mixed up. Don't need much of this stuff, so a little bit goes a long way. Okay, so I've lifted these up a little bit, about 10mm, and now I'm going to apply that to the outside. It'll look awful, but don't worry, because you won't be able to see it when the seat's upholstered. Hopefully not, anyway. So I'll whack on some of that, so it goes into the threads. That all helps. There we go. A bit sticky, isn't it? It's not as easy to use as something like filler for paint. Anyway, it doesn't matter. There we go. So it's best to use too much rather than too little. I hope there's plenty on there now. Screw it down. A bit more on there too. And hopefully, once it's tightened up, just got to nip it up. I don't need to be too tight. I don't want to damage the threads inside the aluminium base here. And then the epoxy should be able to do the rest and keep this thing nice and secure. There we go. I think I'll just wipe it off a little bit, and yeah, we're good to go. And now we have to wait 4 to 6 hours, let this thing go off and set hard, and then we'll see how secure these bolts are in the seat unit. And now here we are back home again. It's the next day, and that JB weld adhesive has gone off, and these bolts are now pretty damn solid on the seat. And that pretty much means the seat mounts are now finished at last. However, I've not yet dealt with an important part of the seat unit, which is the bracket to hold on the rear light and the rear plate. And all I've got to do is use some sort of metal, some sort of bracket here, and either glue it or weld it or even pot rivet it to the back of the seat, something like that, and that would hold the light and the rear plate, no problem. But I've not done that yet for a good reason, because all this is going to get upholstered, and if I add this bracket like that first, I'm going to make the upholsterer's job an awful lot harder, because he's going to have to cover this up and then pull the vinyl over and underneath the seat unit here. So adding this bracket will make his life an awful lot more difficult. So what I think I'll do instead is I need to make a bracket to go way underneath the underside of this seat hump. Maybe a little angled bracket, something like that, and it'll be way up underneath there. And then once the seat's been upholstered, I can then bolt a longer bracket in turn to carry the plate and the light. Not ideal, but because I'm getting this thing upholstered, it's something I've got to think about first. And talking of upholstery, I've not yet found a specialist local to me who can do this, and I'll be happy with the results. There's a chap in Huddersfield that I've used before, and he would do a great job, but it's a bit far away. But I am going to the big classic bike show in Stafford next week, which is the biggest in the world, and I'm hopefully going to find a decent range of upholsterers there who can do the work for me, who may be a bit closer than Huddersfield. But getting the seat covered may not happen therefore for a few weeks, and so we'll end the video here, and so thanks for watching and cheers.